like them, but you can't. But like nachos, like.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah. Good morning and welcome back. You're listening to Scout Team Radio. And due to some technical difficulties, meaning Loudbeard forgot to hit the record button, we are bringing you into our episode 10 minutes in.
All right, we're having more technical difficulties this morning. I thought I could play the intro to yesterday's episode, but I forgot that yesterday's episode was a mess up too, and so you heard yesterday's catch up from yesterday's mess up. So I don't know where Loudbeard is. I haven't heard from him, and I can't hear him. So I started the show on my phone. I don't have the soundboard that Loudbeard has. So what I do when he kind of isn't there is I'll take an old episode and play the intro from there and pretend like nothing ever happened. And it's worked a couple of times. This time, little egg on my face, but that's okay. It is a Thursday morning. It is... I always got to check the day. I don't know. I say the day every day, and I still forget. It is Thursday, May the 16th, 2019. And yeah, it's going to be a good show today, with or without Loudbeard. Somebody just sent me a message. Sometimes people send me stuff for the show, and I haven't looked at it yet. It says 30 things you can say to both your toddler and a drunk friend. So I'm going to run with that. Thank you to the friend who sent that to me. I'm going to run with that until Loudbeard figures out what's going on his end. Because, again, Loudbeard is the brains of the operation. He's the one that runs all the things, and I'm just the goof who comments and chimes in and throws in little quips and sings songs. And yeah, that's my issue. He says he's having mic issues. Be there soon. I got this, Loudbeard. I'm on top of it. All right. So 30 things you can say to both a toddler and your drunk friend. You can't nap here. You need to go to bed. Yep. Yes, that is 100% true. We don't eat food from strangers. I don't think I've ever said that to either. I think... Yeah, I don't think I've ever had when Little America was a toddler. I don't think he ever went around like eating other people's food. We never touch our private parts in public. Yes, I have been there. And one friend comes right to mind. I haven't seen him in a long time, but yeah, in those early 20 days, you ran with some weird crowds in your early 20s because you really just hung out with anybody who would drink with you during those times.
It counts for your 30s, too, because I hang out with you.
That's true. Sometimes, Loudbeard, people like you don't let go of your 20s. You're holding on, and so that's why you keep me around.
Yeah, probably the only reason.
Here's my favorite, Loudbeard. Yes, those are boobies, but we don't touch those. Actually, I don't say that to the toddler. I kind of say, like, live it up, kid, because pretty soon you won't be allowed to do that anymore. So get them in while the getting's good.
Yeah. Good advice. Very, very good advice.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty solid list. There's some other things on here, but I'm glad to have you back. Glad that you were able to figure out the mic issues.
Yeah, no, sometimes that studio ghost gets you pretty good. This morning I test the microphone. Everything's working good, and then I swear I played the intro, and I started talking, and then all of a sudden I hear you play the intro in the background, and I'm like, why is he playing the intro in the background? And I look, and the microphone's just not picking up. I'm like, I just tested this. It worked no problem. What's going on? And it was just like a loose wire. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So then I had to get out of the studio, get back in, and then act like everything was cool. I'm so annoyed about that kind of little stuff, man. It's that little stuff that makes the difference. And then, you're playing the technical difficulty episode from yesterday with the intro. Yeah, that made us even look more like professionals. We're like super professional this morning.
Yeah, I just went to my Apple podcast because I'm subscribed to Scout Team Radio, and so should you. And the first episode I saw, I just hit click and let it play, and then everything's going smooth. And then you come in like, yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. And I'm like, Well, we kind of are having some technical difficulties. And you're like, I forgot to hit record. And I was like, oh, man, I forgot about that part. I forgot that happened yesterday.
Yeah, it's all blur. And so, well, you know what? We're ready now. It's 6:05, and we're going to pretend like nothing ever happened. Once again, you're Chris America. I'm Loudbeard. This is Scout Team Radio. We're live. We're unedited. We're raw because we make mistakes, and we're real people, too. And that is okay. It is okay, Chris America.
I really think that people are going to start to think that this is a shtick, that we're just doing this on purpose for laughs. And I can assure you, this is no shtick. This is just what you get. This is raw, real Scout Team Radio right here. And I think it makes our show better, that we can admit and be candid to our mistakes. And I used to be like you, Loudbeard, where I was like, oh man, why is this not working? I used to freak out, especially when we first started the show. So if you're new to the show, the first time we ever went live with 12 Ounce Sports Radio was way back 2 Octobers ago. Yeah, 2 Octobers ago. So that's what, a year and a half ago.
Sure.
We were on nights at that time, and we went out to a bar. We were like pumping it up. We had a whole bunch of people come out to support us, and I don't even remember what the issue was, but we couldn't go live, and it took us like 30, 45 minutes to actually go live, and we were just freaking out. It was crazy.
I believe the bar had Wi-Fi, and we were planning on using their Wi-Fi, but it was garbage Wi-Fi, and it would not connect.
No.
And we're like, don't you have one that we could use that's better than this stupid public one that has no signal? And they're like, no. You know they did. They have like a private one for employees. Like, hook us up, man. We're trying to help you out. Bring some business into your fine establishment. You could give us something. But, yeah, what?
And then I think we went to one of our friends that was there to support us and said, "Hey, do you have hotspot on your phone?" And we finally found a friend that did, and we connected to that, and then we were rolling.
This is all true. We could have a full our own podcast basically on technical difficulties while having podcasts.
Yes.
And each week we could talk about one different scenario that happened and how we had to fight through it. And we could probably do at least 200 to 300 episodes of just podcast technical difficulties. And
we should do that just
live
just
radio technical. Mm-hmm.
I think we should do that just because maybe regular people don't want to hear it, but podcasters would want to hear it, especially guys that are new. We are connected to a ton of podcasts on Twitter, and I'm sure they would love to hear our woes, to commiserate with us, and to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, so they don't feel like they're the only ones, right?
Yes.
We were very hard on ourselves at first. We're like, how are we such idiots? No, just technically this stuff is more complicated, especially for guys that aren't in any sort of radio industry, that have any sort of technical background on anything audio. Yeah, we've learned a lot over the years, and we feel like we've perfected some of our sound and some of the issues. We've had a time where we would sit outside and say, okay, let's do this out on a back patio or back porch, and crickets were humming in the background, and it made it sound like there was a buzz the entire time. That's how brilliant we are.
Yes, it was great. But talking about learning from your mistakes, Loudbeard.
I don't learn anything.
Yeah, and it's clear that this company didn't learn from anything, and that society didn't learn from anything. You know how we are the generation of nostalgia right now. Nostalgia is so in right now.
Yeah, vintage clothes. I love them.
And they're bringing back lots of stuff that we love, and it's great from time to time. But every once in a while, something comes back, and you say, "Did anybody really ask for this? I don't think we did." Like Murphy Brown comes to mind. When that show came back, I was like, "Who was clamoring for Murphy Brown to come back?"
Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
But there's something else now that's making a comeback, Loudbeard, and when I saw it, I had that same reaction. Who in the hell is clamoring for this to come back? Are you ready for it, Loudbeard? Did I tease it? Did I hype it up enough?
I think you hyped it up enough. Let's hear it.
Jinko jeans are coming back. The most god-awful, just poserish clothing line ever known to man. It makes me embarrassed to say I'm a 90s kid. Jinko jeans are that uncle that you're related to, and you don't want anybody to know you're related to it That is me with being a 90s kid. I am proud of almost everything 90s and the generation that I grew up in and the time period that I grew up in. But Jinko jeans, it's that one embarrassing moment. That one night that you got too drunk and you did the most embarrassing thing of your life. That is what Jinko jeans are. And if you wore
Okay.
Jinko jeans, Loudbeard, I'm sorry.
Uh,
But not really. You shouldn't have worn Jinko jeans. That's
yeah,
embarrassing.
whatever. So why are these coming back? Are they still like the same like giant pockets and big baggy like they were in the 90s, or are they just the brand is coming back with like new
All I know
wave?
is that Jinko Twitter said we are back. The original owners invite you to reintroducing Jinko to the world. Our original heritage, our DNA. Judge none, choose one. Join the tribe. Sign up on our website for launch updates. Jinko.com. So it sounds like our original heritage. I don't know what that is. So I'm guessing it's that douchey looking big old pants that I just, I don't know, Loudbeard. It was the worst trend ever.
You're getting quite emotional about
I
this.
do. I don't know why.
Getting
Maybe because there was
pumped
like
up.
kids
Look at
that
you.
maybe because like every kid in school that wore those, I didn't like them. They were just I don't know. I need a minute.
All right, you need a minute. I'm going to bring up the weirdest story of the week for me, and I'm going to go sports now. We've already talked about Jenko. We've got you all emotional, and now I need to. I'm going to jump right into NFL. This is off season for NFL, but the storylines they always continue. It looks like the New York Jets have decided to part ways with their GM, Mike McManaman. I'm probably saying that terribly wrong, but that's okay. I'm going to say it. He was fired, and they bring in oh, wait, no, they don't bring anybody in. They say, all right, Adam Gase, you're going to be our interim GM, and we're going to let you have it. He has already traded a player. One day as interim GM, he's like, you know what? I didn't like you. I don't know why you're on my team. Linebacker Darren Lee gets traded off to the Chiefs. Okay, so he's already making waves. But the big story here is there was apparently a rift in the New York Jets locker room because the Le'Veon Bell deal was not approved by Adam Gase. Adam Gase and the GM were at odds because Adam Gase did not want Le'Veon Bell to be signed to that big offseason free agency deal. And so now Adam Gase is the GM, and there is going to be a little controversy. Wow, Chris America, the New York Jets, they can't just help themselves. They always have to be an absolute dumpster fire, don't they?
Oh, what is going on? If I'm the owner of the Jets, number one, we're only 3 weeks since the draft, or 2 weeks since, about 3 weeks since. We're not even a month since the draft, and you're telling me you're firing your GM? Like, you should have made that decision a long time ago, because he just did the most important part of your season of a GM. Really, is he's done free agency and he's done the draft. Now you really don't have anything you can do. Like, everything's set in stone, so you might as well ride this thing out and see how it works, and then you fire him maybe towards the end of the season. But this is just a weird. You are right. This is the weirdest story next to Jinko's.
It's a terrible time to fire your GM right after the draft. That's the important part, to have a GM. And if you didn't trust him, and maybe he made some poor decisions in that draft, I guess that would lead to this. And in free agency, going after Le'Veon Bell, you would think that would be a great acquisition for the Jets, who need some offensive firepower. But there's definitely some issues going on in that back office now, or front office, wherever that office may be. So Bell responds to all of this on Twitter. He says, there's a bunch of false reports and speculation about me in the past about things I've said and done. I'm so used to this. I don't jump to conclusions when I hear or see a story that may affect me. Then he goes on to say, even if reports are true, that won't stop me from doing what I came here to do. Everyone has a job to do, and I'm going to do mine whether people like me or not. I'm here to win football games. I thought that was a good way to respond to this speculation, don't you?
Yeah, I think he basically said, I don't give a crap if Adam Gase likes me or not. My ink is on the contract, and the paychecks are rolling through, so I'm going to go to work. And it's up to Adam Gase put me to work and to use me the best way that he knows how. And if he doesn't, then that's gonna be on Adam Gase.
Yeah, he's like, I got that money. I'm good. I got my money. Why is everybody worried about this? I don't care who likes me. The check cleared. I'm good.
The check clears, and that's part of work, you know? Sometimes you don't have to get along with your boss, and sometimes you don't have to get along with your coworkers. You just have to remain professional, work with them, and at the end of the day, you clock out and you go your own ways.
Yep. So is this a bad sign for the Jets turning around their program?
Oh,
They've
it's
had
a
some
terrible
rough
sign.
years, and now we've got this. It's a bad sign, right?
It's an awful sign, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I don't know why they hired Adam Gase to begin with. He really had that one playoff run where the schedule was just so easy for the Dolphins, and he did nothing after that. He couldn't do anything with Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. He rode that Denver Broncos train with Peyton Manning, and he looked great. When Peyton Manning's your quarterback and a healthy Peyton Manning's your quarterback, any offensive coordinator looks great. I could put my 10-year-old son as offensive coordinator, and he's going to look awesome. And he's ridden that, and that's what happens in the NFL, man. Sometimes people get success that they didn't earn or deserve, and then they just ride that for like a 10, 15-year coaching career that I never understand it.
Yeah, you are absolutely true. And Adam Gase, his signing this offseason was one of the more, I guess, head-scratching types of signings that we saw. And fortunately for him, Arizona Cardinals went ahead and outdid him. And then when they picked up Cliff Kingsbury, and so that kind of took a little bit of the heat off of the Jets and them signing Adam Gase for quite a while, because everybody's like, oh, Kingsbury's a failed college coach. What are they doing? Instead of saying, Adam Gase, he's a failed NFL coach. What are the Jets doing? So he got a little lucky that he didn't get more heat when the Jets signed him. But once he's in that New York media, and now he's interim GM and he's making moves, the spotlight's going to be hard on him. And if he does not come out of the gate with some good wins right away, that New York media will eat him apart. And honestly, I don't see this season being very promising for the Jets.
No, not really. And I think if anything, there's a little bit of regret on Le'Veon Bell's part, where he's like, man, what did I sign myself into? But I kind of can't feel sorry for him, because Le'Veon, dude, I could have told you the Jets were a train wreck before you signed. Like, if you would have just called me, returned my calls. I know you were kind of keeping to yourself and you're tired of hearing things from other people, but bro, I got you. Like, I could have told you the Carolina Panthers were the place to go.
Yeah, that would be no, that's not a good place to go. You guys already got a guy like that, man. You got McCaffrey.
We do.
You're good.
We kind of need a Thunder guy, so maybe he can go to the Redskins.
There we go. We can go Redskins. Man, I hope the Redskins have a good stable of running backs this season. It looks like they've made some good moves, but some of these guys, we need to see what they can do on the field. Not going off on the Redskins train. You try to derail me talking about my Redskins. One last NFL little story I want to bring up. Patriots sign free agent linebacker Jamie Collins. So this guy was a big-time star for the Patriots, but back in, 3 years ago, he gets traded 3 years ago to the Cleveland Browns from the Patriots, and it was kind of a odd move, but it was one of those typical Patriots moves where they sell a guy when he's hot and move on from him so that they can bring in young guys and don't have to overpay one of these top stars. So now that he's had his run in Cleveland and that run is done, the Patriots get Jamie Collins back on probably, I didn't see what the deal looked like, but I'm sure it's much less than what they would have had to pay him 3 years ago, but they get a savvy veteran. Typical Patriots move. If you were a player and you got traded away from your team, the New England Patriots, and sent to Cleveland, would you come back? Would that be something that you would be interested in, Chris America?
Loudbeard, I would be interested in coming back to any team that wants to sign me, and especially a team that wins Super Bowls all the time. So I would, again, like we mentioned with working with people you don't like, it's the same thing, man. Sometimes it's just business. It's just business. It's nothing personal. So if I can be back with the Patriots and win a Super Bowl ring and get paid doing it, yeah, I think I could put my differences aside.
Yeah, no hard feelings. Like, dude, you traded me. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool, bro. That was a few years ago. Just get over it. Come on back. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm back.
I'm
That's
back.
cool. So last night, Chris America, was a big NBA game. I'm
Well,
gonna
hold on,
pivot over
hold
to
on.
the NBA.
I'm gonna pause you before you pivot. I want to kind of stay in football just for one more second. Now, you talked about the Cleveland Browns. We talked about the Jets. Cleveland Browns fans, they're having the offseason of their life. And they had all their trades. They got all their moves in. They had a decent draft. And now they're looking at the Jets thinking, wow, that was me just a year ago in the last 20 years. We are no longer the Browns of the NFL. The Jets are now the Browns of the NFL. It's got to feel good when you reach that point that you're no longer the most embarrassing team in the NFL and somebody else is finally taking that torch from you. Does it not?
Oh, yeah. The Browns right now are sitting pretty. They're sitting there thinking, man, we're not the dumpster fire like the Jets, maybe some of these other teams that have been doing stupid moves. Yeah, it's not us for once. Now we know how the other half lives. Now they really just need to go out and win games. That's the second part of that puzzle. But right now they're feeling pretty darn good.
Yeah. Now, I want to, before you pivot to the NBA one more time, I got actually one more football thing we need to talk about.
If it's about the Gators and all those people that get charged for abusing women, I don't want to talk about that. That's so depressing.
Bro. Anyways, ignoring your rudeness aside, Craft Brewed Sports. You know those guys, right?
I've heard of them, yeah. I hear they put
Yeah.
on a good show every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, 8:30 on 12ouncesportsradio.com. That's 12ozsportsradio.com at 8:30. Tune in. But they issued a little challenge to us yesterday on Twitter, Ladbeer. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. It's about football, all right.
It is about football. It's about the FC Cincinnati versus our Orlando City Soccer Club. They're throwing down on Sunday, and they want to do a show versus show bet. They said we can dub it the 12-ounce Sports Cup. So have you thought about what the bet can be? I'm kind of – we've done romper bets. We've done beard bets. We've done onesie bets. They've done what was it, like a Hawaiian coconut bra girl bets, right?
Yep.
And then didn't you say at one point it wasn't really a bet, it was more of a punishment? Mike had to drink some weird mix of like fluids.
Yeah, no, they do this dartboard of doom where they have these
Okay.
punishments that they put on there, and they've done crazy things. I think he had to do icy hot on his junk and do a whole show with it once. That was pretty entertaining. Once Joe, the producer, had to eat, they call it Buddy the Elf, where they put like spaghetti with M&Ms and syrup and like made this big giant hot mess of disgustingness. They've had just this laundry list of fun punishments. So we need to come up with something entertaining that we could put out on the line on this one.
All right. So we still need to think about it?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I haven't put any
we have
thought
until
into
Sunday.
it. Yeah, okay.
All right, maybe
we
they
need
can
to-
come up with something on the show tonight. We'll have to
Yep.
tune in.
Absolutely. Now, Chris America, before we pivot to NBA, I'm gonna say one more thing. We are doing a short show today, and we will be off tomorrow. And because of that, we're going commercial free. That is cool. But I do want to say, if you want to hit us up on Twitter, make sure you hit us up at Scout Team Radio. And I also want to say, we've got our podcast. If you can't always catch the live show, hit us up on our podcast. We're also being simulcasted on Full Press Radio Network. We love this new partnership we have with them. It is going really well so far. And also Barn Burner. Check out barnburner.ca. It is a podcast network. Our podcast is shown on that network. Good partner of the show also. So I want to make sure I shout out those guys over there. Them, and of course, we come live every Monday through Friday here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. 12ouncesportsradio.com is our mother station. This is our home, and this is where we have been for quite some time now, and this is a great station. Make sure you check out all the other great shows like Craft Brewed Sports, we will have a tremendous bet with this weekend as we come up with whatever that bet needs to be. All right, Chris America.
All right, so
that's all
let's
the promo
pivot,
stuff.
Pivot to the NBA now.
Yep, and then we're not going to travel. We're just going to use our pivot foot. And
yeah.
then we're not going to travel. We're not going to.
We might Euro step.
Which is not a travel apparently in the
No,
NBA.
it's not.
It's just here, take a couple extra steps. Just say you're European, and they'll count that as walking, not traveling. Which is
Imagine
weird
the first
because-
time. Imagine the first time somebody did that, and the ref called travel, and then the player was like, "No, dude, that was a Euro step," and he's like, "I've never heard of that." No, it's a thing. Okay,
It's a
no
thing.
travel.
Yep. Who do you think did that? James Harden? Was he the first one?
No, didn't Dwayne Wade used to do the Euro step all the time?
Yeah, maybe it was D Wade. You might be right. All
I
right,
don't
so
know.
big game last night. Speaking of Eurostep, I don't know how Eurostep talks about this, but we have Bucks taking on the Raptors.
Well,
I watched
Giannis
them.
is European, or he's
Yes.
from Europe.
Yeah, Greek freak. That's
Yeah.
what they used to call him. Now he's just Giannis.
Giannis.
I watched this game, and man, I'm telling you, Chris America, the Raptors dominated all the way up until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Giants, the sleeping giant, the Milwaukee Bucks, they awaken, and the Raptors, man, they just disappear. Bucks get a big win here, 108-100. And Raptors, they lost one. I feel like they really let one slip away because
Yeah.
they had a huge lead going into the fourth quarter, 83-76. I guess it's not huge, but 7-point lead going into the fourth. They should have closed this one out, but Bucks win at home.
Yeah, Bucks win at home, and like they mentioned, like Giannis mentioned, we don't want to go down 0-1 at home to the Raptors, and so they made sure they took care of business. But we did it again, Loudbeard.
We did?
Yep, we motivated another person or team in the NBA, and that person today is Kyle Lowry. We motivated that guy. We said, no, Pascal Siakam is the Robin to Kawhi Leonard's Batman. He's the new superstar to go with it, and Kyle Lowry's kind of just been pushed to the side. He's not the superstar all-star that we knew and loved before Kawhi got there. And Kyle Lowry, he's like, I'm going to show those guys. I'm going to put in 40 minutes and get 30 points. So they didn't lose. The Raptors didn't lose because of Kyle Lowry, unless he's one of the ones that disappeared in the fourth quarter. But he had a good showing last night. Pascal, though, 15 points. Gonna need a lot more from you, buddy.
Yeah, they are going to need more from Siakam. So fourth quarter, Chris America, I'm going to give you this stat because I'm a stat machine today. Kyle Lowry was 5 of 7 in the fourth quarter. His teammates, the rest of the Toronto Raptors, were 0 for 15 in the fourth quarter. So Lowry was the
Wow.
only reason they scored in the fourth quarter.
Wow, and they only scored 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah, you can't have that. And that falls on Kawhi Leonard, to be honest with you. You're the superstar. You're supposed to be a top 5 player in the NBA. You're supposed to be one of the top 1 or 2 two-way players in the NBA. And you did score 31 points, but coming up short, man. We give LeBron James crap for pulling something like that. We need to give Kawhi Leonard crap, dude. Like, you got to get it together. This is your moment. This is your team. You are it in Toronto, and you cannot disappear in the fourth quarter like that. And this all falls on. I said it falls a little bit on Siakam for 15 points. No, this falls all on Kawhi Leonard. If you disappear in the fourth quarter and your team loses a big lead or a decent sized lead, yeah, that's on you, man.
Well, the final score was 108-100. The Bucks went on a 10-0 run to finish this game out.
Yeah.
So they were down by 2, and all of a sudden, 10-point run, and Toronto could not answer and could not stop them. And a guy that was instrumental for the Milwaukee Bucks, other than Giannis, Brook Lopez. He scores 13 of his points in the fourth quarter, and he has a career playoff high of 29. Brook Lopez had a big game last night and helped the Bucks come up with this victory.
Well, that's what we said was going to need to happen for the Bucks to beat this Toronto team. Is they needed more than just Giannis taking over, and Brook Lopez, the team leader in points for the Bucks. He had 11 rebounds. I mean, he was getting work, crashing the boards. Chris Middleton also 11 rebounds. He's got 11 points, not as many points, but if you don't get the points, man, you got to get work somewhere else. And rebounding is almost more important than points from at certain points in the game. You know, especially when you get offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and sometimes your shot's just not falling, or sometimes you just don't get the good looks. You have
Right.
a tough defender on you. And you got to contribute in other ways, right? And that's
Right.
what Middleton did. He crashed the boards and did what he needed to do to help be a contributor, even if it just doesn't show on the scoring line. So that's still a great performance. And the Milwaukee Bucks, man, they stole one from the Raptors. The Raptors had this in hand, and they fell apart in the fourth. And that's what happens in the NBA, man. It's all about that fourth quarter. That is, to me, that's the money time right there. That's when you need to show your best.
For sure. And there was somebody who was showing his best Chris America-like performance. George Hill, congratulations. You are the Chris America-like performance of the night. 27 minutes, Loudbeard. 1 rebound, 4 assists. I don't know if I could quite get there, but with 27 minutes, I think I can snag 1 rebound. And I'm still pretty good at passing. And I can find Giannis anytime I want underneath the board and watch him put it down to get those 4 assists.
Well, and the crazy part is George Hill has had a really great playoff run. He's been playing really, really well for this Milwaukee Bucks team, and he just got a little quiet last night, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you have to have a Chris America-like performance. I mean, I'm used to it. I do a radio show with you every day, so I always get your Chris America-like performance.
Yeah. Oh,
I got to pick up the slack.
Speaking of doing the radio show and a Chris America-like performance, I have good news, Loudbeard.
Okay, good news. I love good news. Give me the good news first.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of the fans. I had hundreds, if not thousands, of well wishes, flowers, cards, balloons, everything sent to me because of my recent injury. And I'm happy to announce to everybody that my left butt muscle is no longer hurting. The injury has been taken care of. I've healed, and I'm back better than ever.
Can you go ahead and explain the story on how that happened once again? I'm sure there's something good behind this.
Yeah, no. Remember I told you I was doing some walking lunges, and the old butt muscle gave out on me. Just tightened up really hard, and I've been sitting on a hemorrhoid pillow the last few days, been stretching it out, rolling it out, doing all those things, icing it, putting some icy hot on there, and eating lots of protein.
I'm going to say I kind of remember you saying that, but it's a very Loudbeard-like performance for me not to listen to anything you say.
That's true. It was announced when it was the biggest injury of the night when LeBron James hurt his ego and KD hurt strained his calf or Achilles or whatever it was. But those two were not as big as my injury. That was the big news I had that day. Big injury.
Wow.
news.
Okay.
So now, unlike KD, I'm back. I'm better than ever, and I powered through the injury this whole time.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I was brave. I was courageous.
All right. Well, you know what? Last night there was a courageous performance out on the ice. I'm going straight into hockey talk.
Hockey talk.
And the Sharks, they get a big overtime win against the Blues. Carlson with the
goal. Not just any Sharks.
The San Jose Sharks.
Scott
Kaiser. He loves the Sharks. He's a big hockey guy. He
Big
likes
time.
to talk hockey.
He
and
likes
that's
to talk
what we're
that
going to
hockey.
do. But this game had a little controversy. We can't have playoffs without a little controversy. And it looks like there might have been a hand pass by Timo Meier right before Carlson's goal. And all 4 officials seem to have missed this hand pass. And they do not make a call, leading to this overtime goal. So the Sharks seem to have gotten a lucky break. The Blues GM afterwards calls this situation garbage. How do you feel about this, Chris America?
Well, how come there wasn't a I thought the hockey had instant replay reviews.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just time to do hockey.
Okay. Well, yeah, if it was an illegal hand pass, then that sucks, but kind of the same as the Saints. It happens.
That's right.
You gotta move on. The next game is the next game. Unlike the Saints, you get another chance. You get 2 more chances at least to try to win this thing, and 3 more chances if you want to make it to the finals. But yeah, just do better next time. Outplay the refs.
Do better, be better. That's all we can say. And
Yeah.
that was Hockey Talk, brought to you by Scout Team Radio.
Now, let me ask you this: hockey allows fighting, right?
Yeah, there's definitely an allowance for it.
Do you think that if a ref does an egregious call like that, you should be allowed to fight the ref?
Hmm.
I mean, you'll still get the 5-minute, penalty, but
I don't know.
I'm kind of just imagining a ref having his black and white striped T-shirt pulled over his head, flailing around trying to fight a hockey player. It's a funny image.
Yeah,
in
it
my
would be
mind.
bad. The refs would get their butts beat, man. Those
Well,
those
I'm
hockey
sure a
guys
lot
are
of
tough.
them are old hockey players, don't you think?
Could be. I don't know, man. I'd like to see it, but it ain't ever happening.
No,
ain't
it's not
ever
gonna ever
happening.
happen. It's just funny to think about.
All right, so Chris and Mary, I think I'm going to go ahead and pass on this Dan Mullen story about how he responds to all of the recent legal problems with all the Florida Gator players and assistant coaches. Let's go ahead and pass on that today because,
Okay.
I know that you get very upset about that. Kevin Durant's going to be out game 2, so
Yep.
this is Trailblazers, man. They gotta step up. They gotta win one. This is their chance.
If they can go
Door is
1-1
slightly
here,
open.
if they can go 1-1 here, then the last game just doesn't matter.
Yep. Memphis Grizzlies, they got that number 2 pick in the
Right.
I almost said Florida lottery, in the NBA lottery. Yeah, I wish I won the Florida lottery, matter of fact.
They got the
Memphis
Powerball.
is locked in on Ja Morant, as reported. I guess this is a speculation that Memphis has been at the Combine, and it seems like their plans have been leaked out of what they're going to do. But this is no mystery. Ja Morant, to me, is the clear-cut number 2 in this NBA draft. So Memphis Grizzlies look like they are going to get their guy.
Yeah, I think both Memphis and New Orleans are in a win-win situation. I do believe that both of these guys, you can't go wrong picking them. It's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th pick. Those are the ones where you really get into the nitty-gritty of what are they going to do, who are they going to draft. That's where the draft gets interesting. So should be interesting to see and watch these two guys, Zion Williamson and Ja Morant, see how they play out, if they are going to play out like that.
Yep. And we got just a couple minutes left because we are having a short show today. I do want to mention the Cincinnati Reds because for some reason they always end up in my news feed. This is weird. So walk-off single. The Reds make a comeback. Yasiel Puig has a nice walk-off single. But what was even nicer was his bat flip. And in a situation when you have a walk-off hit, do you think that warrants a bat flip? You know how these baseball people, they're very sensitive about this whole bat flip situation. What do you think?
I think any walk-off situation deserves celebrating.
You
And
sound just like Joey Votto of the Reds. He said the same exact thing, Chris America. You guys are like brethren. He says
We are.
it doesn't matter. As long as it's a walk-off, you can do a bat flip, and he praises Yasiel Puig for his beautiful bat flip.
Yeah. Let's stop trying to take emotions out of sports and stop being babies, pitchers, and baseball players. Just deal with it. You lost. They're celebrating. When you win, you can celebrate and do the same thing. It's the circle of life. It's the way things go.
It is the circle of life. Last story I just wanted to bring up. I think this is good for the NBA. They're decided to scrap the whole free agency period starts at midnight situation so that
Okay.
you don't see people like Magic Johnson at LeBron James's house at midnight, which to me sometimes can be a little creepy.
Yeah. I would just tell, if I'm an NBA player, I would just tell everybody, look, I don't get up till 8, and then I work out, and then I do this and that. So you can meet me at noon, I guess, if you want to take me out to lunch.
Yeah, so instead of July 1st at midnight, they decided to push it back, and they're going to do June 30th at 6 p.m. so that they can start making these signings right there in the evening. You could say, okay, let's have a nice dinner together, and I'll sign the paperwork, and it'll all be good. I mean, why did it take this long to get to this point? This is an obvious answer to me.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I do like it. 6 p.m. is a good start. You can have dinner with your new team and talk about numbers and everything else, or you can have dinner that night and then say, all right, I've considered your offer. I have breakfast tomorrow with this other team and lunch with another team there. But yeah, Man, there's no way in hell I'd be waiting up until midnight to go talk to my new NBA team, especially if I'm a guy like LeBron James or Kevin Durant. Like, these decisions can wait.
Yeah, those guys, yes. But think of all the other ones that want to sign that contract, get that max deal before that team moves on to the next free agent, right? Like, you want to get your money, so you're going to do it right then.
Yeah.
And those guys, they're not going away. They're hounding you. They're right there at your door because they want you to sign. So, yeah, it's a bad situation all around. We're going to get out of here, but before we do, I just wanted to mention a couple tweets that we had on our Twitter line. Mike Berlin says, more bat flips.
Yes.
With an exclamation point. Actually, 2 exclamation points. So he said it with a lot of excitement this morning. So very good there. And then that Scott Kaiser, you know him. You know him. He says, that's right, boys. Hashtag go Sharks.
Go Sharks. Let's do that hockey.
Do that hockey.
All right, guys, have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.